The October 18th City of Oldsmar Council meeting. It is 7 p.m. I am calling the meeting to order. Invocation and our Pledge of Allegiance will be led by our city attorney, Tom Trask. Please rise.
Father in heaven, we seek blessings on the tasks before us. Bless our efforts with clear insight, our deliberations with wisdom, our work with clarity and accuracy, and our decisions with impartiality. We gather to make decisions for our community. May we only use our best skills and judgment, keeping ourselves impartial and neutral as we consider the merits of each matter that is placed before us, and always act in accordance with what is in the best interest of the city of Oldsmar. This we pray.
Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Tom. All right, with that, we are going to open the open public forum. Each speaker will be recognized once and will be limited to 5 minutes. Presentation on any subject that is not scheduled for a public hearing. Item 4 is a public hearing. Please state your name and address for the record. The open forum will conclude at 7:30 p.m. Is there anybody on this side of the room that would like to speak to the council? Oh, Dave, come on up.
Feeling old after this weekend. Sudi Yanis Cologne, 402 Arlington Avenue East, Oldsmar. I am the director of the Opal Theater in wonderful partnership with the city of Oldsmar. I want to say thank you for all of your support. I know some of our council members and mayor was able to come out and open up our show. We had over 500 people in attendance for an 8 to 10-year-old average age group musical.
Hey.
We are very proud. We are very proud. It's our second highest number. The kids did fantastic. The lights, the sets, the sound, everything was wonderful. And the weather held off. It had to rain a little earlier and make it soggy for us. But besides that, we had a wonderful show. And I just want to thank you guys again for our partnership to see these things through and make them happen for not only our kids, but our community as well. And I brought a little gift for each of you in case you weren't able to come. Just in case, because there's the photo of council in our playbill. So you have an actual souvenir. Did you get one the night
I did.
of?
I have it.
Okay.
Thank you.
I don't think I got one. Thank you.
Thanks, Sid.
Look at you.
Gracias.
And to wrap up, I don't think she's been informed yet, but Kathy was our winner of the membership drive drawing for a 2-night weekend stay at our wonderful Hampton Inn and Suites right here in Oldsmar.
Oh, wow.
So Miss Kelly will be contacting you to get your gift certificate. So thank you very much for all of your support. Our next show is going to be Mary Poppins by popular choice and vote of the kids. The auditions are coming up audition workshop is November 26th, and auditions are coming up November 8th, and this will be for our performance in April of 2023. Oh my gosh, all of this is just around the corner. So again, thank you very much for everything that you do and all of your support.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed the show. I know some of you were there for the whole thing, and it was a great night. So. Thank you.
Congratulations, Sudi.
Thank you very much. We're very proud. I'm beaming with pride for my kids. Some of them have only been up on stage for that first time. And then some of them are becoming old pros, you know, like Miss Madison playing Moana did a fabulous job with her voice and everything else. So watch our Facebook pages for more photos and videos that are coming out. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Kathy, I'll get you a copy.
Babe, did you want to come up?
Yes, please.
Good evening, Council,
Good evening.
Mr. Trask, everybody else. Babe Wright, 1006 State Street East, Oldsmar. Want to mention to everyone here and to everyone out there in Never Never Land that the Methodist Church, our community Methodist Church, we're having a rummage sale or garage sale October the 29th from 8 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon. That's on a Saturday. And if you'd like to participate as a client, you can rent a table for $20. They'll provide you one table. You would have to call the church and get the necessary information, but I do have the phone number here if anyone would like to have it. And also, I'm up here to ask if and when someone is going to pick up the garbage from the storm. We're playing dodgeball on State Street East because nobody has a place to put their garbage. It's in the road. Mine is in my yard. Well, it's not in my yard, it's in y'all's yard, but I consider it my yard. But nobody has done anything. What's happening?
Do you want me to respond? So, babe, currently, right now, we're having an issue with vendors that want to do it. A lot of the vendors have been transferred to the south because they were so devastatedly destroyed, most of the properties. So a lot of the vendors are not here. We have 2 vendors coming out on Thursday, am I correct, Thursday? And we're hoping that they show up. So do me a favor, say a prayer, and let's hope they show up.
I've been praying, but God doesn't see fit to answer my prayers for some reason.
So Thursday is the day. We're hoping that 2 vendors show up, and we're gonna send them to each side of the city and just,
Well, last time we had the storm, the city crew picked it up. What's happening with the city crew? I understand you outsource all that now and the lawn mowing
Volume.
and the mowing of the
so
easements.
just be on the lookout for Thursday. We're gonna get
Okay,
it
what
taken care
about
of.
St. Pete Drive? When are they gonna mow the easements and stuff along the road on St. Pete Drive and along the roads? Nobody mows anymore. What happened?
That I don't know.
That it? We can look into it.
We can check out, we'll check into it.
If it's been outsourced, then you should go back and use the city employees because they did a much better job.
We will find out.
Okay,
Get
let's see
back.
if I had anything else to complain about.
And babe, can anybody make donations to the rummage sale, or is it just where we need to come out and have a table?
You can make a donation to the church most assuredly anytime you like, but you can come and rent a table. Like I said, they'll provide you 1 table for $20, and all that money goes to the church. And whatever you make at your rummage sale is yours to keep. So if everybody would like to come, they may have some good deals. Okay, thank you all very much.
Thank you,
Thanks,
man.
babe.
I'll be watching Thursday.
You got it.
We're all open.
You can give me a call if you want. Anybody else on this side of the room would like to speak to the council? Anybody on this side of the room? Come on up. Let everyone go first.
She wants to come so badly and then hides. Melissa Como, 301 Park Boulevard, and I am here representing Oldsmar Elementary PTA. I would just like to thank everyone that came to National Walk to School Day last week. It was a big success, especially Councilwoman Gannon, Vice Mayor Buckman, and the Oldsmar City Fire Department came out and they led the way. It was a great turnout. Better than I expected, and next year is going to be even better. So thank you everyone who came out to support that. Also, thank you for all the donations during Second Friday, for everyone that came out to that. We were able to raise over $200 for Oldsmar Elementary. The kids were at work, let me tell you. So look for our table again next month. We'll be there until May. So look for us. We'll be selling drinks. We have games. It's super fun. We had face painting last time. We would like to invite the community and everybody here to our annual trunk or treat on Thursday, October 27th from 6:30 to 8 at the Oldsmar Elementary front parking lot. It's such a great time. Jared has dressed up and done things before. The kids love it. Kids are in costume. They're trick or treating. We have prizes for costumes. We also have our pumpkin auction. All of those proceeds will go to benefit our literacy program. And all of the events that they're going to be doing this year as well. We are also in need of candy donations, so if anybody would like to donate a bag of candy, you can drop it off at the front of the school or to me. I can always bring it in for you as well. Again, thank you. Our mission this year is to be more involved in the community, and I can say that it's October and we are definitely involved in the community, and you guys are involved with us, so thank you again. Also, just a little brag on myself, we have met and exceeded our yearly PTA goal. In membership. So thank you very much to everyone that has become a member. We're always accepting new members, but we have exceeded our goal. So thank you very much.
That's
Good
great.
job. Anyone else on this side of the room? What? Hi.
Please excuse my nerves. I've taken meeting minutes before, never had to provide a comment. So, my name is Lorraine Rodriguez. My address is 25150 Lovegrass Drive. I live in Lutz, Florida. I'm a Pasco resident, Pinellas or Oldsmar. I am a public policy and administration student at St. Petersburg College. I used to live in Hillsborough County, just down the street, right off of Tampa Road. My partner still works in Oldsmar. We make the 40-minute drives into our respective jobs daily because there really is no other choice. As many of you may already know, the concern for the lack of affordable housing in this country is a valid and growing one. I have personally attended meetings in the area discussing the steps that different municipalities would make to ensure their residents were not being priced out of their homes. So when I saw an agenda item pop up that would discuss Pinellas County initiatives, I was excited, and I knew that I would like to further study how the city of Oldsmar, if and how the city of Oldsmar would be implementing those initiatives. The Advantage Pinellas Housing Compact being presented seems to clearly outline the issues of affordable housing in Pinellas County. Not only are those issues outlined, the Pinellas BOCC, Forward Pinellas, and other entities have also provided some remedy to the issue by committing to allocating funds to affordable housing. In my opinion, as a local public policy student, the Advantage Pinellas Housing Compact is a sound commitment for those involved. The Florida Housing Finance Corporation is an entity that works closely with municipalities and developers to ensure that the properties being designed and constructed fit the neighborhoods they are being constructed in. Developing the surrounding communities with parks and recreational resources, as the compact currently states, will only add to the beauty and allure of the county. The city of Oldsmar may not have as large a population as some of its counterparts in the county, but it is a few streetlights away from the neighboring Hillsborough. And as rent continues to skyrocket everywhere else, it'll be interesting to see how this government chooses to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else on this side of the room? Come on up.
Hello, my name is James Hummel, 132 Arlington Street. The city has done some great programs, the BMX track. We had the second Friday. We had a lot of positive things going forward. But as I was leaving the second Friday, I heard a lot of residents say, and I checked with other cities, when people get sandbags, they just put them in the garbage cans. That is a no-no because they burn garbage. And when it messes up the incinerators, it causes a backlog. And then the residents blame the city. So what I'd like to see going forward, everybody on the council here, take a vote, and you have the Christmas tree drop-off in December where people drop it off at R.E. Olds Park. Why can't we get a program where they bring their driver's license? I live here in Oldsmar. This is my residence. I have 6 sandbags right here. We take the sand out of the plastic bags. They put it into like a dump truck. City of Clearwater does it. Dunedin does it. They do not take it to Honeymoon Island. They put it to other areas that they need. So why can't Oldsmar do the same thing? Okay, because today I come home and I'm driving down the street and I see neighbors, one fighting over another because they're putting these in the garbage cans. Okay? And I did look into it, and I got a call late just before I got here. If your city, where they burn and they find out that you're permitting people to throw it in the garbage can, your city can be levied a fine by the Florida legislature. So I just wanted to point that out. And it would look better for our city if we're offering safe environmental programs. And it would draw more people to our area. Thank you very much.
Thanks, James.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak to the council? All right, with that, I'm going to close the public open forum. The next item on the agenda is our community minute, which will be led by our city clerk, Ann Nixon.
Right, so Friday, October 21st at 7 o'clock, we have our movie in the park. Bring your blankets, chairs, friends, and family to watch a free viewing of Casper. Concessions are on site. He's a friendly ghost, and this is at R.E. Olds Park. Saturday, October 22nd from 9 to 2, Paw-A-Palooza. Bring your furry friends out to this free event featuring dog acts, adoptions, dog costume contests, food trucks, and more. And this is at R.E. Olds Park. And then Haunted Happenings. Friday, October 28th from 7 to 9, a spooktacular free experience featuring interactive family activities, costume contests for 12 and under, trick-or-treat train, haunted hay rides, games and more. I'm sure the ghosts are friendly. Concessions available for purchase, and it's at RE Olds Park.
That's
all.
it? Thank you, Ann. Thank you very much. I'm looking for a motion for approval of additional new agenda items, 1, 10, 14, and 19.
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion? All right, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is awards and recognition, and it's item number 1, which will be handled by our city manager, Felicia Donnelly. Go, Felicia, go.
Good evening. Garrett, do you want to join me up here? Okay, so we're here tonight to celebrate 10 years of service from Garrett Zeliff to the city of Oldsmar. And so I just wanted to briefly give some history of Garrett's experience in Oldsmar. So he started 10 years ago. It's a 10-year service award. So 10 years ago he started. Thank you for laughing at my bad joke there. But so he started off as a part-time management analyst. And then he was quickly promoted to a full-time management analyst. And then he went to the budget and finance analyst and then the finance administrator in 2018. What I found interesting was that while he was serving in all those positions, he served several interim positions for us as well. And I think this shows just a well-rounded background and many applicable skills. So he served as the interim sustainability coordinator at one time. He was an executive assistant another time, and he served as the interim HR administrator. So I think that's a testament to how highly regarded you are in our city and really how your skills are applicable to a variety of departments from finance to HR to sustainability. That's quite a rounded version. So I am going to keep this brief, but I did call your boss while she was on vacation. And that's Cindy Nino. And I asked her, I said, I'm reviewing Garrett's big file of his history, of all of his accomplishments. And so can you tell me what you think his greatest accomplishments are without looking? So she gave me 5. I asked for 3, but I got 5. So, Garrett's really responsible for our enhanced budget process. That's enormous effort. So, you're also responsible for improved city purchasing process. So over 10 years, I can imagine the changes in that. And then you lead the coordination of all of our grant reimbursements, which is millions and millions of dollars that we rely on Garrett's skills to get reimbursed. Most grants are, they let you spend the money up front and then you have to ask for reimbursement. So it's kind of on you if you don't get that right. So it's really important to get that right. And she also mentioned a specific grant, and it was the auto grant. So, so the auto grant was, I think, one of the only direct FEMA reimbursement grants we did for a private home, that the money comes through the city and then reconstructs a home to FEMA standards because it was damaged. And I think that took about 3 years of your life going through the reimbursement of that. So, I personally thank you for your professionalism is unparalleled. You're dedicated, your commitment, that combined with, really your talent, your education, and your skills is just, I'm very thankful for that. So congratulations on 10 years. I'm hoping it's 10 more years. And so here is your plaque. Tatiana will take our photo. And I do have a check, so you get a check for $500, but I didn't want to bring it in with me, so it's in my office.
in the
So
mail.
I'll give it to you.
It's in the
Yeah,
mail.
it's a IOU. From Cindy. She'll give that to you. So, do you have anything you want to add?
I do, if you'll indulge me for just a minute, because I'm a little bit of a simple guy sometimes. So, being the numbers guy that I am, I went back and I was thinking about my career with the city, and I made a list of, well, numbers. And so here it is, my list of 10 years in 10 numbers. So the first number, $359,871,740. Budgets created. $86,019,365. The value of purchase order and AP requisitions received and approved over those 10 years. $8,574,133 grant expenditures successfully reimbursed.
Nice.
And there's more to come there,
Oh,
as you
yes.
know.
Yes. ARPA.
17, the number of employees I've had the privilege of supervising in my 10 years. Some have retired, some have moved, some have unfortunately passed on, and many of them are still here despite me, so there's that. 13, number of mayors and council members served.
Wow.
9, number of Government Finance Officers Association Distinguished Budget Awards received.
Yes.
3, city managers served. 2, department heads reported to, one of them here tonight. 1, brilliant, hardworking, patient, and beautiful wife supported me through this adventure, also here tonight. That's Mindy, in case anybody was wondering. And 0, that's kind of my favorite number, sick days taken in 10 years.
Hey.
And none of this is, of course, accomplished in a vacuum, so it requires a lot of hard work on the part of everybody, staff, council, the community. So really, thank you guys for a great 10 years.
Great job, Garrett.
We need a photo. Mindy, come on up.
Cindy, yeah.
I believe I. All right.
That's awesome.
Congratulations,
Congratulations,
Good job.
Garrett.
That was a great $500 speech.
That was. Oof.
Item number 2 is on the agenda, presentation of the Business of the Quarter Award for the third quarter 2022, and that will be handled by Councilmember Gannon. I saw that.
It's okay. Thank you, Mayor. It is my honor and privilege tonight to recognize our business of the quarter, which is Herod Properties. And this is a really big deal. You know, sometimes it's confusing, like, okay, how did we pick this particular company? Why did we pick this particular company? And so I have a little bit of background and a little bit of why here tonight. So Herod Properties, founded in 1990, full service commercial real estate investment company. They do everything from finding the site, financing, construction, leasing, recruiting tenants. It's vertically integrated. They do everything. And their company is really built on this commitment to those relationships that they build with each of their business partners, clients, tenants, and cities. And that includes, you know, local officials and their commitment to longevity, and I'll get to that in just a minute. So for 27 years now, they've been involved in the development of over 15 million, since we're talking numbers, 15 million square feet, yes, of office, industrial, retail, medical properties, with that focus of creating high quality assets, high quality buildings, high quality relationships that endure in value. So recently, you probably heard about a pretty important ribbon cutting here in Oldsmar. And that was September 6th. The Upper Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce with Pinellas County Economic Development Group, our mayor, city manager. We had county commissioners there. It was historic at 500 Brooker Creek Boulevard. It's a $15 million, that number 15, it just keeps showing up, $15 million investment into Brooker Creek by Herod Properties. And they are committed to construction of a 150,000 square foot building. And it was the first, Oldsmar, we love to be the first. We love to be the first on lots of things. So this was the first economic development project completed with the Penny for Pinellas Employment Sites program. So this is a big deal. We always love to be first. And there's some serious public policy goals, and I'll get to that in a minute too, as to why it's important to Oldsmar. Most importantly, for creating, sustaining, and retaining jobs, employers, it's critical. So they will help us retain Edmunds Optics and Black LLC, keeping them here in Oldsmar. We could have lost those folks and those jobs to somewhere in Pasco County, somewhere where there's more open space, open land, as the competition for industrial lands versus residential lands continues to intensify across the entire region. So because of this effort, and because of some additional facts I want to tell you about, they are our business of the quarter. So you might not know everything about Herod, though, because there's these two lakes that are part of Oldsmar. A lot of people don't know the borrow pits were actually Herod properties. They deeded those to the city of Oldsmar long ago. And those twin lakes that a lot of people aren't really aware of, they are part of Oldsmar. If you go north on Racetrack Road, it's also shared with an easement with Tico, I believe. Not quite sure what our intentions are for that land in the future. We're going to continue to hold it in trust, but pretty cool that they brought it back to us. Also, they completed a small project in 2011 for a 60,000 square foot building, a little company called Microlumen that we are very familiar with and very proud to have in Oldsmar. So you can see how over the years their impact in our city has been steadfast and continues. So their commitment to retaining these industrial lands is really critical. A lot of people don't know that Pinellas County actually has more manufacturing and industrial land than Hillsborough County. A lot of people think like, oh, isn't that where the ports are and the shipping and the, ew, yucky, I don't want to go to that other side of Tampa. No, the industrial lands are actually here, and that's so important because I have a million reasons, literally a million reasons. And Garrett, you know those million reasons. 52% of the ad valorem dollars that go into that budget that we approve every year as a council, 52% of the ad valorem dollars, that's tax dollars, property tax dollars that are not earmarked for something specific that we can spend on those city services that we love to have, our residents enjoy, whether it's something in leisure services or something at the library. I see our friends in the library here tonight. That helps pay for all that. And again, preserving that economic base is critically important, especially in the event of like a housing market downturn, which we experienced. We don't have to raise taxes. We've kept that millage rate the same, and that cushion is why. So the county is actually investigating a lot of this. It's part of a program at TEALS, the Target Employment Industrial Land Study. And it's all about this commitment to retention of industrial lands, because if we don't have the companies here, if we don't have those businesses nearby, then you have to drive 40 minutes to get to your job, because the company can't find a place to build or to be located initially, or they're, kind of pushed out because they can't expand. And then we switch it over to residential, we have density, we have problems in housing declines, and so on and so forth. So I am very proud. I'm very honored tonight because this company represents a commitment to, I believe, 20 years into the future of growth for that area. And they have really sustained the entire Brooker Creek business complex right on the other side of Tampa Road as well. So the business of the quarter for the third quarter 2022 goes to Herod Properties. And here from the company is June Morris. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your role with the company?
I'm Quinn. Um, we appreciate the work. Thank you very much. We're very proud of the new development. It's been a very successful project for us. Like you said, the ESP program was the first one we've done. We basically just like a program that gives a financial gap for developers because it's very expensive to build right now, very expensive for land right now. And as you said, the industrial properties are very important for the city. So all three tenants are manufacturers and provide great jobs for the city of Oldsmar, and we hope to do more work with y'all in the future.
Yeah, we're so proud to have you. Thank you so
Thank you very
much.
much.
And congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Gannon. Great job. Item number 3, presentation of Council Manager Award for October 2022, and that will be led by our Vice Mayor, Jared Buckman.
I turned it off. Yes, I forgot. But at least I told you. I kid.
Is this thing on? Okay, great. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, everyone. I have the honor tonight to present the Council Manager Award for the month of October. Recently, our community was facing a big challenge with Hurricane Ian coming forward towards us. As I like to call it, the cone of uncertainty, and as things start to heat up, there was a group of individuals that not only prepared our city, but also put their own lives on the line. For most of us, when we choose to go work somewhere, we don't choose a job that require us to do any kind of emergency operations procedures. However, I do recall I was in IT during Y2K, but I digress. Okay. The fact of the matter is that there's a risk that these individuals take on and inherit with their jobs, and it's important for our community to recognize these individuals and being aware and grateful for the work being done during these emergency situations. But these situations are not prepared for in a day. They take years of planning, weeks of planning. They spend many hours per year to make sure that they're ready, and that if our EOC needs to be activated, there's a chain of command, a set of protocols that are executed, practiced, reviewed, and improved as needed to make sure that when the EOC is activated, we're ready to go and that our city is protected. As some of you may know, we follow the incident command structure set forth by FEMA to make sure that not only the correct operational people are in place, but also that we have a place to operate in a safe manner. This takes coordination with other local and national entities, as well as the local businesses. Our own city staff in the weeks and days prior to the event or to the storm secured city facilities. They planned facility closures, took care of transportation for special needs to shelters, cleared storm drains, relocated all the city equipment to help mitigate any kind of storm damage, secured a secondary EOC location with a storm surge that we were projecting, secured another location with Lee's Countryside Hospital, procured extra resources for plant operations and fuel, participated in county, state, and coordination meetings, relocated the entire center to the Nielsen EOC, made overnight accommodations, food, everything that's required for about 110 people, distributed close to 14,000 sandbags, secured additional vendors in case we needed additional support, created the alert pronouns and social media updates to keep our citizens informed, and answered many inquiries from our citizens, all while keeping our city services up and running during that time. While we were spared, I'd like to pause a moment to think of our communities to the south. Seeing what they went through and seeing that could have been us is really scary. So our community continues to support our Southwest Florida neighbors in their effort to survive the storm in storm-torn cities and hopefully start the journey towards rebuilding their future. But sometimes our city services and our city staff go unrecognized by our residents because they simply don't know. And we should be as thankful to them as we are to our military and our first responders for their commitment to rushing into dangerous situations. And it's also important to be thankful for people willing to put themselves in known danger for the safety and security of our city. I asked our city manager for a list of individuals involved in the EOC after the storm. But to be courteous to everyone here, city staff, council members, I don't think we want to be here to midnight tonight reading the whole list. So the list of names provided me was not just a subset of people within the city who were part of the EOC, it was every single employee. Felicia was nice enough to present me with this graphic, and I can go through the whole thing. This is the entire EOC chain of command.
Wow.
And there is no one in this city that is missed. A lot of people here to make sure that our city is safe and secure during these storms. I also want to send a special shout out to Pinellas County Sheriff, I'm going to butcher his name.
Galtari.
Terry, thank you, who was instrumental in securing local Pinellas County Sheriff, as well as the National Guard, as well as search and rescue teams in case we needed them. Barry Burton, our county administrator, Kathy Perkins, director of Pinellas County Emergency Management, Kim Greenleaf. Huge shout out to her, Commissioner Dave Egger's office. She kept us up to date on county operations and things going on. Baycare Health, East Countryside Hospital, helping us to secure that secondary location in case we needed it. And Nielsen Media, who's always been a great partner in the time of need. Thank you to all the EOC staff and members for their service, and in this recognition, we support every effort and sacrifice made in the protection of our homes and livelihoods with grateful hearts and clear foresight to continually recognize the greatness on display every day in our wonderful city. Felicia, would you come on down and accept this award on behalf of everybody in the EOC?
Hold up that table. Oh, man. I know. So cool, yeah.
I'm not done. Can we get any city staff up here and do a picture as well? Anybody that is involved in the EOC, pretty much everybody?
Yeah. And put the, Jared,
Jerry, put that.
Vice Mayor, can you put that chart right in front of where you guys are standing so we can see that in the picture? That's amazing. Like, put it, yeah. Yes, yes, wow. Wow. Oh, and Tatiana's.
Tatiana's got to be there. Need a volunteer.
Can we get a volunteer from the crowd?
We got
Thank you, thank you.
Oh, yeah. Eddie.
Deputy. Deputy Martinez, what are you doing back there? Hiding.
It's like, no. The input.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. That was your first council manager award, correct? Oh, your second. Okay, well, I'm behind. Well, good job. Next item on the agenda is the Community Redevelopment Agency. Item number 4 is a public hearing to approve a site plan and architectural renderings for a new office building located southeast corner of SR 580 and South Bay Boulevard. Does anyone have anything to disclose?
Thank you, Mayor. Jared Buckman. I live at 310 Washington Avenue, which is located within the CRA. I've already filed my disclosure form with the clerk for this matter.
Okay, Tom, you want to take over?
Sure, Mayor. So this is a quasi-judicial hearing. Anyone that's going to speak at this hearing, if you could stand up right now, I need to swear you under oath. Anyone that's going to speak, raise your right hand and be sworn under oath. You swear the testimony that you're about to give tonight is going to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay, thank you very much. So city staff will make a presentation at this point, Mayor.
All right. Thank you, Tatiana.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Tatiana Childress, City of Oldsmar Planning and Redevelopment Director. So this is a request for site plan and building architecture approval to construct a 30,865 square foot office building located at the southeast corner of State Road 580 and South Bayview Boulevard in the Town Center Commercial Neighborhood District. The site is located within the CRA and is subject to architectural guidelines and also of the town center and also land development code regulations. The site is comprised of 9 originally platted lots, previously developed with a single family home,
This particular site was already approved once for a restaurant in 2016, which was never built. And also the property was sold to a physician, and a physician's office was approved in 2019, however, was never built as well. There's also a 20-foot alley, which is located at the south border of the property. The applicant wishes to utilize proposed office building as the main location for their office functions, client meetings, demonstrations, and product samplings, offering a full-size, full-service design, consultant, and application services for lighting. Businesses and consulting services are permitted in the TCCN district. TCCN allows the floor area ratio of up to 1.0, impervious surface ratio of 0.8, building height of up to 55 feet, and a maximum front yard setbacks of 10 feet. Proposed site includes FAR of 0.16, ISR of 0.6, proposed building height of 17 feet, and 10-foot front setbacks, meeting all of the zoning regulations. The updated site plan is demonstrated on this slide, includes new access to State Road and 580, which was already approved by the Florida Department of Transportation. Exit only will be on Bayview Boulevard. The office building per Land Development Code regulations require 3.5 spaces per 1,000 square foot of leasable of gross floor building area. So, and also in this area, there's a 10% discount. So the applicant provides 13 spaces, parking spaces, which includes 1 accessible space, and it meets the land development regulations. The drainage will be handled by on-site retention pond. We also went over the concurrency with the applicant. Each new site plan requires the concurrence test statement, so it meets the traffic, stormwater, and potable and sanitary sewer requirements. Building elevations, proposed building elevations renderings are contemporary in design and meet the town center architectural guidelines as demonstrated on the following slides. And staff recommends approval of the site plan and building architecture to construct 3,865 square foot office building in the town center commercial neighborhood district. Thank you.
Would you like to submit your report into evidence? Yes. Okay. Does the commission or the council have any questions for Tatiana? Any questions?
No?
Okay.
All right, no questions. Then the next item is applicant's presentation. There we go. Thank you, Tatiana.
Thank you. Good evening, Craig Taraski for the applicant. I have been sworn. Ms. Childress did a wonderful job presenting. I do have the applicant and the civil engineer here to answer any specific questions you may have about the project, but in the interest of everyone's time, we're just here to answer questions.
Okay. Should I open up the public forum?
Well, does any of
Any
the
questions?
council have questions for the applicant? This is an attorney, so he's going to have to bring up his client and the other witnesses if you need questions answered.
Okay, I just had a couple of quick questions. Is the business a residential lighting? Is it commercial lighting? Is it, thank you, I appreciate it.
Sure. Just introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Michael Ruth. I'm the owner, and we are a commercial lighting consultant.
Okay. And in this particular site plan, do you have any, I didn't notice any, and it wasn't mentioned, are there plans to do any additional landscaping beyond this small shrubbery here, or will it just be whatever is existing on the site?
There is a formal landscape plan that has been developed.
Okay.
Yeah, it meets the town
code.
Okay. Yeah, there are street trees and other landscaping per the code.
Okay. And does any of it include screening, a sort of screening the rear of the building, I guess I would call it, that faces the residential area? I'm just curious.
I don't remember offhand.
Yes.
Hold on a second, we'll just come back. So when they're finished, if they don't know the answer to the question, we can have Tatiana come back.
He said,
Yes, so I do have the approved, or the recommended approved landscape plan as part of the application. And there is landscape along the southern portion of the property, as well as walls along the southern side. There are shade trees along the
good.
southern side and along the eastern side as well.
Excellent, thank you. Those are my only questions and concerns.
Thank you. Councilmember Knapp, any questions for applicant?
Nope, no, thank you.
I have one question.
Sure.
Is it going to be leased? Is it going to be
Yes.
occupied by someone that you know? Is it,
It's going to be leased, so
so it's for lease?
yes. So
Okay.
the lighting company will be leasing from the landowner, yes.
Okay, great. All right, any other questions? All right, I'm gonna, you have anything else you want to add, Tatiana? No? All right, then I'm gonna open up the public hearing. Are there any opponents or proponents for this? Opponents or proponents? Anyone like to speak? James?
All right, I need to swear him in.
James, oh,
Raise your right hand. You swear on an oath. You swear the testimony you're about to give is going to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
My only question is for this business, because I've seen businesses up in New York, they come in as commercial, then when they expand to residential, like they're gonna take on the residential, it comes up to the council that we have to approve that, and then that business pulls out because they don't get approval for residential. It's great that we're doing for commercial, but your business in your city can generate more dollars if you do residential also. So my main question is, if we're gonna start this as commercial, is it gonna expand to residential later? And will it have to come before the city council to get approval? That's my question. It might sound complex, but I've seen businesses fail when that issue has come up. That's my only question. Thank you for your time.
Let's get all the people to testify first, and then they can answer all the questions.
okay, anybody else would like to speak? Come on up. You swear, right?
I need to swear her in, too.
Mhm.
If you could raise your right hand, I need to swear you under oath. You swear the testimony you're about to give is going to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I just have a question. My
If you
name
could
is
state
Julia.
your name and address, please.
Yes, my name is Julia Jackson. My address is 142 Dartmouth Avenue West. So I live directly behind this property where this building will be developed. And I wanted to know if I could see the plans. Besides this, you were talking about constructing a wall, and there would be more landscape trees. So I want to know if I can see what is going to be done.
Okay, we're not going to do that just now. We're going to get all the witnesses in first, and then you can answer all the questions at the same time, okay?
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, and my concern was with the retention pond, because right now we don't have any flooding. And it's been years since our property has had water come close to the sliding glass door. So I just want to make sure that there's going to be no flooding.
Yeah.
Our property won't be flooded. Trying to think, will there's like two, I don't know if you want to call those retention ponds that are right in front of our houses, or right in front of our property. So will those be affected as well? Yeah, those are the only questions I have right now.
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Anyone else would like to speak? Come on up. Come on up.
Okay, raise your right hand, please. You swear the testimony you're about to give is going to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, and if you can state your name and your address.
Jerome Jackson. I'm actually her son. I grew up in that house. I went to Oldsmar Elementary, Countryside High School, Carl Wise Middle. That too with the whole drainage situation, like, yeah, we don't want that because that area, when it rains a lot, it is a lot of water that comes back there, but it doesn't reach our house at all. So we do want to make sure that we don't flood over. And two, like with the disposal of that business, whoever comes in, where would they have their dumpsters at? Because we also don't want to have that right up against our house. And then if that smoke drags over, and we have to deal with that throughout the day or however long it comes for the trash people to come to pick it up. And that's all I have for that.
They're good questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else would like to speak for or against? All right.
So we just need the applicant to maybe step back up and answer these questions.
Sure. Craig Taraski for the applicant again. With respect to the dumpster is located in the southeast corner of the property. As typical, dumpsters are typically not located in the front of the property. They don't like to be seen from the street rights away. It is separated from the property to the south by the drainage area. There is currently no engineered stormwater on the site. The proposed development will meet all required stormwater regulations. I do have the civil engineer here if there's any specific questions about the stormwater system. Let's see, we have dumpster, drainage, and we do have a full set of plans, and we're willing to share those with folks. Maybe might be more appropriate to do after the public hearing than do it during, but it's your discretion, Mr. Mayor, how you'd like to handle
One
it.
question they did ask too is about the wall.
Yeah.
Did you mention a fence or some kind of a wall? That was one of the other questions.
Sure. Would you introduce yourself?
Craig Ork, Sergeant, Gulf Coast Consulting, Civil Engineer. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and council members. Yes, so on the south, in the middle of the site, which is probably where the drive aisle and parking ends, there is a wall which drops down to existing grade. So currently the grades on the site are roughly at elevation 8. The building finished floor is at elevation 12. So the drive aisle that runs off of State Road 580 and then connects into Bayview, the grades are at elevation 10. So there's about a 1.5 2 foot high wall that brings the site back down to existing grade. This was one of the requirements for us to make sure that we minimize any fill into the site for floodplain requirements. In regards to the question for drainage, the pond that's designed, typically you're required for a 25-year storm event. This is designed for a 100-year storm event, as well as it has another 6 inches of freeboard. And anything that the pond discharges out towards Bayview. So it discharges out onto Bayview, out onto the road, goes down south to the next inlet. So as part of the requirement, we have to design the post-development to be discharging less than the pre-development. So there won't be anything coming off of the property more than what it was already coming out. It'll be less.
Good.
So.
Okay.
Good answer.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Tom. All right, we're good. I am going to close the public hearing.
Unless they want to make a closing statement?
Oh,
I could make an additional statement
Sure.
demonstrating that actually to the south of the property, as I have demonstrated here, there is a 20-foot alley that will not be developed. So there is an unimproved piece of property, which is about 20 feet, which belongs to the city. So they're not going on the property line. They're actually going to be separated from the property. Developed property is going to be separated from the residential homes by undeveloped 20-foot alley. So that's why we didn't request any additional landscaping in that area, because there's already a separation, a 20-foot additional separation there. Thank you.
anything else?
No, I just, we meet all of the objective criteria for site development approval, so we're just requesting approval from you today. Thank you.
All right. I'm going to close the public hearing. Does the applicant have a closing statement?
You just made that.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
fine.
there you go. All right, so I need a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Anyone here?
Nothing from me.
Councilmember Gannon?
Just a couple of quick things. I really appreciate the discussion about the alley, the screening, the wall. I know that area does drop down significantly from 580, and there had been flooding concerns a little further down near Oldsmar Cares when they constructed their pond. I'm delighted to hear that it's for a retention pond designed for a 100-year flood event as opposed to a 10-year or 6-year, and with additional clearance. That gives me a lot of reassurance. I also love that their exit onto Bayview is exit only, so not entrance and exit. So it reduces the amount of traffic, and they're only going one direction, which is very quickly out onto the higher intensity road. So, thank you.
Okay, Councilmember Knapp?
Just a couple of comments as it regards to the dumpster location. I know that there are criteria that need to be met when it comes to that placement. As someone that lives adjacent to a commercial property with a dumpster in what amounts to my backyard, I can sympathize with that impact, that potential impact. It is very close, but I don't smell anything from a place that probably would generate, you'd think, a lot of smell. But as the city manager may remember, we are mindful about how early they come to pick up things, and have to remind them from time to time to please be considerate of their neighbors. So I just hope that that continues to not be an issue for other folks with commercial property development. And obviously that's not under the applicant's control, that's under our vendor's control. So just wanted to
Anything
point
else?
that out.
Nothing? I just have one comment. One thing I want to mention is that 20-foot alley, you notice how they did it in the red? It's like the red zone. The red zone. You got 20 feet buffer there to score a touchdown. So I think you're going to be good. I think it's going to give you enough buffer space there for the water, the flooding. I think that's a good buffer. Then thank God that alley's there. And that's all I have. Any other discussion? Last thing? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Graber?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Buckland?
Yes.
Councilmember Knapp?
Yes.
Councilmember Gannon?
Yes.
Mayor Saraki?
Yes.
Site Plan 22-02 for a new office building located at the southeast corner of State Road 580 and South Bayview Boulevard passes with 5 votes for and 0 against.
Next item on the agenda is our consent docket, which will be read by our city clerk, Ann Nixon.
Item number 5, accept resignation of Alex McDonald from the Veterans Advisory Board. Item number 6, approve minutes of the September 6, 2022 council meeting. Item number 7, approve minutes of the September 20, 2022 council meeting. Item number 8, approve minutes of the September 26, 2022 emergency meeting regarding Hurricane Ian. Item number 9, approve payment to legal counsel for September 2022 legal services. Item number 10, approve purchase of Microsoft Office 365 license renewal to SHI International Corporation under the pricing terms and conditions of the Sourcewell contract number 081419 CC23-002. Item number 11, authorize city manager to advertise 2023-001-RFQ for stormwater master plan. Item number 12, authorize city manager to advertise 2023-002-RFQ for general engineering services. Item number 13, approve the purchase of a mobile pump package from Xylem Dewatering Solutions, Godwin Pumps of Lakeland, Florida, for their pricing terms and conditions of Florida Sheriff's Association contract number FSA 20-EQU 180.0 CC 21-020A. Item number 14, approve awarding purchase of library materials for the Oldsmar Public Library to Baker and Taylor per the pricing terms and conditions of the state of Florida DMS contract number 55000000-20-NY-ACS CC 21-005A. Item number 15, approve awarding purchase of a Kaiser trailer to the Texas Trailer per the pricing, terms, and conditions of Florida Sheriff's Association contract number FSA 20-8QU 18.0 CC 22-020A. Item number 16, approve awarding the purchase of a regular cab dump truck to National Auto Fleet Group doing business as Allen J. Fleet Sales per the pricing, terms, and conditions of Sourcewell contract number 091521 CC 22-005.
Great job. That was a handful.
I don't
Well, I should say a
know.
mouthful.
Tom, I think you might have a contender over here for reading fast.
Oh, wow. Man, okay, does anyone wish to pull anything?
Mayor, not to pull anything, but just to thank Alex McDonald for his service on the Veterans Advisory Board and in the military. Just want to make sure I pointed that out. I know he's leaving to tend to a family matter, so just making sure I recognize him. But
Absolutely. Good job, Councilman Morgan, our grader. All right, with that, I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, next item on the agenda is City of Oldsmar, and it's going to be the presentation of our proclamation for National Friends of the Library Week, and that will be also done by Councilmember Gannon.
Busy tonight.
Yeah.
See me? I should have worn tennis shoes.
Would love to have our lovely First Lady of Oldsmar and Friends of the Library join me up here, and Susan Hurley, Department Head and Library. Thank you so much. And I saw it on the budget tonight. Congratulations, or on the agenda tonight. Congratulations on the new materials. Thank you, ladies, for being here tonight. We appreciate it. So it is my honor to present the Friends of the Library Week proclamation. Whereas Friends of the Oldsmar Public Library raises money that enables our library to move from good to great, providing the resources for additional programming and services, much needed equipment and support for children's summer reading programs. And whereas the work of the Friends highlights on an ongoing basis the fact that our library is the cornerstone of the community, providing opportunities for all to engage in the joy of lifelong learning and connect with the thoughts and ideas of others from ages past to the present. And whereas the Friends' gift of their time and commitment to the library sets an example for all in how volunteerism leads to positive civic engagement and the betterment of our community. Now, therefore, I, Katie Gannon, on behalf of Mayor Dan Saraki of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, do hereby proclaim the week of October 16th through the 22nd, 2022, as Friends of the Library Week in the City of Oldsmar, and urge everyone to join the Friends of the Library and thank them for all that they do to make our library and community so much better this 18th day of October 2022.
Wonderful.
Of this beautiful proclamation. You know, we don't often get a chance to hear from Sue, so I'm going to ask you and Paula to talk for a little bit after we take a couple quick pictures. So, Paula, could you tell us more about the Friends of the Library, how people can join some of the activities that you guys put on? I remember the awesome ice cream social last year, 2 years ago or so. Tell us more.
Well, we're having a meeting next Tuesday at 1 p.m. at Tico Hall, so anyone can come to that if they'd like. And we just help with anything that Susan tells us that they need, anything that's not covered into their budget. She lets us know what we need, and we do our best to get it for her.
You guys still selling donated books or selling old books and raise funds?
Yes, yep, we do. Actually, our treasurer Felicia, she's been selling some of them on online, and it's been going really well. Yeah, it's been going really well.
I remember when she started doing that. That's so cool.
Yep.
And Sue, well,
Yeah, okay. Well, you know, unfortunately, the last couple of years, we haven't been able to have the big events that we've been having, but now we hope to start those up again. But yeah, our primary source of raising funds right now is through our book sale area in the library, where we get donated and discarded books. They have, you know, funded a lot of programs like our children's playaways. We have tablets that are preloaded with educational games and activities for kids. They pay for a lot of our programs, and you know, we really appreciate their support, and we're glad that there's a week like this and that the city recognizes the week to, you know, say thanks to our friends and all the work that they do for our library.
can you tell us a couple more? I know Kelly Graber, Councilmember Graber's wife, is the president, and Paula, are you an officer this year? Vice president, that's right, that's right. And Forrest Williams, is he an officer as well? Yeah. Yes, yes. But great group of people. Great group of people. Thank you so much for being here. Congratulations, you guys.
Great job. Thank you, Councilmember Gannon, and thank you for coming, both of you. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, number 18, approve moving Sherry McCullers from alternate member to a full member of the Code Enforcement Board. I don't see Sherry here, so I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any other discussion about Sherry?
Thank you for your
All in
service.
favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is our countywide housing strategy update by Forward Pinellas. Lisa Fisher, AICP from Fort Pinellas, come on up. Or
Thank you.
Linda, I'm sorry, Linda.
All right, it's good to be here. So my agency is Forward Pinellas. We are the countywide countywide land use and transportation planning agency for Pinellas County. And I'm also joined by Rebecca Stonefield, who is from Pinellas County Housing and Community Development. And this effort is primarily led by a partnership of our two agencies. Now, I'm told there is a trick to this PowerPoint, so I hope you will.
Go slow. Don't push it too many times, or it'll jump like 5.
There we go. Okay. So I'm here to talk about longer-term planning for affordable housing. But if anybody watching is having a housing emergency today, we just wanted to let you know that there are some resources that the county offers that may help you. You can go to rent.pinellas.gov and click on Help with Housing, or you can call 211, or you can text your zip code to 898-211. Those are centralized places where you can go to learn about different resources that are available. So I'm going to talk to you about our housing compact. I'm going to tell you what the compact is, why we need one, what's in it, how we're going to implement it, and what it means for your community. But let's start by talking about affordable housing in general. We all know we're in a housing crisis, but it helps to be able to quantify it. So the median sales price for a single-family home in Pinellas County right now is about $435,000. There's an example on the screen from Zillow of what that gets you in the current market. This is a just over 1,500 square foot ranch house in average condition. The estimate is that it would cost about $2,700 a month in mortgage payments, and that's an ideal case in terms of financing, and that doesn't include property taxes or homeowners insurance. Townhomes and condominiums are less expensive at $290,000 median sales value, but the cost of all types of homes has increased by about 24% in just the last year, and that's on top of other steep year-over-year increases. So these are countywide statistics. It's certainly higher and lower in some areas of the county. But it's even worse for rents. Average rent for a one-bedroom apartment in Pinellas County is about $1,500 a month. And in some locations, rents have increased by as much as 90% over the last year. By way of comparison, on your screen is a list of essential types of workers in our communities and what would be considered an affordable housing cost. The benchmark is that housing should cost no more than 30% of your gross monthly income. And you can see that almost nobody in these professions that we all depend on, from teachers to grocery store workers, can comfortably afford rent or mortgage costs in Pinellas County. Overall, more than 1 out of every 3 households is cost burdened for housing. And if you look at just renters, it's more than half. This is a problem everywhere, and the need is greater than just providing a small number of publicly funded affordable housing units each year. So when we talk about planning for affordable housing, what we really mean is housing affordability. How do we make housing more affordable in general for people at all income levels? And it isn't just about the cost of housing itself. Transportation is the second highest expense that most households have. And households that struggle with housing costs often also struggle with maintaining reliable transportation to work and to school, to the grocery store, to the doctor's office. So if we want to ensure that everyone has economic opportunity and a high quality of life, we need to plan for access to transportation as well as housing. All of this is bigger than any one local government. If we're really going to tackle this problem, we're all going to need to work together. To do that, Pinellas County and Forward Pinellas are in the process of building a countywide coalition that we hope will ultimately include all 25 local governments. We're presenting what we're calling a housing compact, setting forth goals and identifying resources that we can bring to the table to help local governments navigate these issues. So we're calling it the Advantage Pinellas Housing Compact, and I'll talk more about why it's called that in just a moment. We started last year with the 5 communities who received their own state and federal funding for affordable housing. That's St. Pete, Clearwater, Largo, Pinellas Park, and Pinellas County. And together with Forward Pinellas, they were the first partners to sign on to the compact. We also established what we're calling a tactical team, made up of staff from those communities plus the Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council. And that team provides ongoing advice and input to this effort. So this year we're broadening the scope, and we're inviting the remaining 20 local governments in Pinellas County to join. So I'm going to go fairly quickly through what's in the compact. After that, I'll talk about how we see it working in terms of implementation, what we're offering, and what we're asking. The first section talks about what's called the Advantage Pinellas Corridor Planning Strategy. As we continue to redevelop as a county, the strategy is to channel as much redevelopment as possible into our major corridors. There's a lot of vacant and underutilized commercial land in those corridors, old strip malls, car lots, and so forth. We can use that redevelopment potential to create a network of housing, jobs, education, and other resources designed as transit-oriented development to lay the groundwork for a future transit system. And this is called the Advantage Pinellas Strategy because that's the name of the long-range transportation and land use plan for Pinellas County. So this compact is part of that plan. The compact talks about planning for healthy communities. As we decide where to locate affordable housing and housing in general, and how to plan for the community around it, we need to make sure we have adequate facilities for walking and biking, not just for exercise, but also as another form of transportation. We need to make sure that housing has access to parks and essential needs like grocery stores and medical care. We also need to make sure we're doing it in a way that's equitable. We all know that there's a legacy of public policy decisions that have favored some parts of our communities over others. We have pockets of low-income and minority communities that may not have been invested in as much as other places. We've also seen gentrification push out long-term residents. Pinellas County is not unique in these issues. But we do need to make sure that we're sensitive to those issues and that they guide our land use decisions and our decisions for where to invest in our communities. We need to plan for greater resiliency. 29% of Pinellas County is in the coastal high hazard area, and a lot of other areas are prone to flooding. So we need to plan carefully for where and how we build housing. And as much as possible, we need to build it to be more resilient. That could mean requiring homes to be built to a higher elevation than required by state and federal guidelines, and or building to a higher wind load than required, and encouraging backup energy sources, so that if we ever are hit by a major hurricane, more people will have homes to return to, and they'll have electricity when they get there. Getting at the issue of broader housing affordability, we need to increase the diversity of our market rate housing stock. Allowing more units and smaller units to be built on less land where it's appropriate creates more opportunity for people to be able to afford good quality housing. More density doesn't work everywhere, but in a lot of places it's possible to make it fit in with neighborhood character. There's what we call missing middle housing, which is things like duplexes, triplexes, small garden apartments built at the scale of single-family homes. And coming up later in this presentation, you'll see a picture of an example of one of those communities that's right here in Oldsmar. We used to build a lot of that type of housing before World War II, and historic neighborhoods that have that level of diversity are some of the most desirable in the county. There are a lot of different options that you can potentially fit in your community. We need to work with the public, private and community stakeholders, and citizens generally. That includes affordable housing developers, neighborhood associations, faith-based organizations, and so forth. That's something we can lead at the countywide level. We've done that for other projects. Creating an affordable housing action plan. This is something, again, we'll do at the countywide level with our tactical team and with input from all the other local governments. The action plan is how we implement this compact, and I'm going to talk more about that at the end. The compact provides for a shared set of housing goals. That includes setting targets for the annual number of affordable units created or maintained. Those will be countywide targets. We're not going to set targets for any local communities, although you can always set your own. We plan to create, again, my apologies, a joint communications and outreach program. We've already started by creating a centralized website. The easiest way to get there is to go to advantagepinellas.org and click on Homes for Pinellas. We also plan to promote consistent messaging around affordable housing and create outreach materials that you can use in your community and anyone can use countywide. Now we're going to create a centralized data repository and performance metrics with data and mapping tools that anyone can use. Where's the greatest load potential? Where are the most zero-car households? And so forth. We'll put all those tools on that centralized website. We'll create a regulatory toolkit. It'll include best practices, model regulations, and a flexible menu of options that you can use in your community. And here is the example of Hayes Park Village and Oldsmar. Our agency has long touted that as a best practice for this type of development because it was able to get more units on less land, but do it in a way that preserved a high quality of life. So that's basically the substance of the compact. The last two sections are just housekeeping, reiterating that you retain your own local authority. You have full control over implementing the compact in your community. And any local government can leave the compact at any time, although we hope that no one will. And it'll remain in effect for 10 years. So that's what's in the compact, but what does it mean for your community? What are we asking you to do, and what are we offering in return? So that's where the action plan comes in. There are going to be two levels of implementation. One is what we're calling collective actions. Those are countywide efforts that will be led by Pinellas County and Forward Pinellas staff with help from the tactical team and input from other local governments. And this is where we'll create all those resources that I talked about. Data and mapping tools, model regulations, messaging. Where we can, we'll also offer direct planning assistance, in particular planning for corridors. We actually have our first corridor study underway in the Alt-US 19 corridor. Where we have opportunities to help steer countywide or state funding, we will prioritize those funds in areas of the county that are helping further the Advantage Pinellas strategy, including the goals of this compact. So those are the collective actions. The other critical part of this is the actions that you all take at the local level. We will ask you to seriously consider implementing at least some parts of the compact in your own community. Now, if you sign on to the compact, no one's going to try to force you to do anything. But we are going to ask, we are going to encourage, and some of the things that we offer, like technical assistance and funding, will be tied to those requests. And there are some potential examples of things you can do on your screen. Allowing more diverse housing, providing regulatory incentives for affordable housing or resilient housing, participating in the corridor planning strategy. You choose what fits your community. So that is the Advantage Pinellas Housing Compact. In terms of next steps, we're currently reaching out to all the local governments who have not yet signed on, and you are the first, so we appreciate this invitation. Over the next few months, we're going to be working with the tactical team to draft the action plan. And again, we'll be seeking input from your local government and all the local governments. So I thank you for inviting me to come talk to you today. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you. We're the first.
Yes.
We're always the first. Any questions for Linda? Councilmember Gannon?
Could we get a copy of that presentation? That would be wonderful
Absolutely.
to have. A lot of great data.
I agree.
Yeah.
Any other questions? No?
Excellent presentation.
Yeah, great job.
Thanks for including me. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I live in
I
Yeah.
didn't realize.
Yeah.
Good. You have good
Yeah.
taste.
All right, then.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much. I think I learned a lot tonight. I think I speak for everyone up here. It's something that is needed in Pinellas County for affordable housing. I know it has to be done. So The recommended motion is to direct the city manager to add the formal consideration of partnership in the Advantage Pinellas Housing Compact on the next agenda. Do I have a motion for that?
So
To
moved.
approve? I have a motion, how about a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Thank you.
we'll keep you updated. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Thank you for your time. City Attorney.
So there's one thing on the agenda tonight under the city attorney, and that's consider recommendation for council's rules of procedure. You remember that we've workshopped the rules of procedure a number of different times. The last time it came before the council was on September the 6th. You had considered making a few changes. The city manager has requested an additional change to be made. It's set forth in her memo that's in the packet. One of the items has already been included in the last meeting, and that was item number 2. It'd be more efficient for the city manager to be able to cancel meetings during an emergency. We added that last month. So we're really talking about item number 1, adding a provision that would allow for the city manager to call emergency council meetings in addition to the council themselves, council members, or the mayor himself. So we plan on, if that's okay with the council, we plan on bringing it back to you on November the 1st for approval, consideration and approval, in addition to the other changes that we've already made.
Okay, any other comments? I think it's important.
Yeah, it's in addition to, it's not in replacement of.
Because
Right.
I was driving back home and Felicia was like, we have to have a meeting.
Yeah.
We have to get everybody together. We have to have a meeting. So
Tom,
yes,
do you
absolutely.
require a motion for that? Do we need to make a formal motion or just?
No, I don't think so. Is there a consensus to do it with
Consensus,
everyone?
Yes, consensus.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right.
So it'll come back on November 1st.
Okay,
Thank you.
awesome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Anything else, Tom?
That's it.
Next item on the agenda is our city manager, Felicia Donnelly.
I don't have anything, sir. Thank you.
Zero.
Lucky.
Zero. You
You're
got-
lucky.
Got a
After
zero
all
like
those
Garrett got a zero.
All right, next item is city clerk Ann Nixon.
I don't have anything.
Another zero.
Wow.
All right,
wanna
and the next
read the
item on
consent
the
docket
agenda is the item 21, cancel the December 20th, 2022 city council meeting. Santa's coming to town that day, I think, I heard.
Yeah, yeah.
There.
I need a
so.
motion to approve.
So move.
A second?
Second.
Any other comments? Discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 22, council comments. Andrew, I'm not going to forget you this week. You're up first.
Oh, that's right.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a few things. First, again, just thanks to Suda and the Opal Theater for putting on that great show. One thing she didn't mention when notifying Kathy of her prize is she actually should have the vice mayor to thank because he was picked first and he threw it back into the pool.
Oh,
Maybe you need to give him a night. I don't know. Splitting, but it was a great show. I can't wait till we get out to see Mary Poppins in the spring. Douglas Trail is looking great over there. I was just informed the city manager before the meeting as like all the cones are down. I already saw somebody out on the trail, even though it's not officially open. So really excited about looking forward to that. I know in her email update from last week said that we plan to have some sort of formal ceremony at some point. I think it'd be a great idea if we could all get out there with our bicycles, and maybe not me. Extra shoes.
Just running shoes.
Knee pads,
Yeah.
elbow pads.
No bikes, no bikes.
No bikes. So really looking forward to that. I think it'll be a great means for people to get around over there safely because there were no sidewalks or trail whatsoever on Douglas prior to this. Quick reminder about the council work session coming up on the 27th. I did look at, it doesn't look like it's actually shown up on our calendar yet on the website, so.
Oh, really?
Is it now?
Well, yeah, we haven't published it yet.
Okay.
It'll be this week.
Other stuff's already on the calendar though, so, but.
We just haven't made the agenda and put it out
The
there
agenda
yet, but it
hasn't
will be
come,
this
yeah.
week that we'll do that.
So, really looking forward to that. I hope everybody can kind of do a little research and have some ideas as far as coming up with some ways to expand our outreach with the citizens. And then final thing I have is just to do a little bit of recap. As you all remember, I went and did the Tunnel to Towers stair climb right before Gator Nationals. And I didn't probably do it justice when I was kind of saying what the foundation was for, but it's in remembrance of a New York City firefighter by the name of Stephen Siller, who was not working the day of 9/11, was going to play golf with his brothers. He's the youngest of 7, who was orphaned early when he was young, was not working that day, heard a plane hit the towers, decided to go back to his station to get his gear, and went and got to the tunnel at the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, and it was already shut down because of security concerns. So he took 60 pounds of gear, ran through the tunnel, and up into the towers to save people's lives. So in remembrance for his efforts is where this foundation came from. There was no tunnel that we did in downtown Tampa, so it was just the tower climb. So it was a really great experience just to kind of learn more about that and understand the real impact of it. One of the things that this organization did that I learned that day after the climb, through some folks I met, was when Deputy Magley was killed in action, this foundation paid off his mortgage for his house.
Oh, wow.
Like light speed, as soon as they kind of found out about it. They are also, through some of their fundraising they're doing now, they're donating all their proceeds for this upcoming event that I'd like to share about to Hurricane Ian relief. So really fantastic organization. I hope that in the future we may be able, if they were to reach out to us for some sort of support, that we may consider it. But if I could, maybe get the camera to zoom in. So January 13th through the 15th, there'll be there's a great couple in Eastlake Woodlands. They're going to be having a tennis, pickleball, and golf tournament January 13th through 15th. So on Friday the 13th, there'll be a golf tournament, golf scramble, and then Saturday and Sunday there'll be a pickleball and tennis tournaments. They said this is the 3rd annual, first time they're doing golf, but the 3rd year that they're doing pickleball and tennis. And they said last year they had about 100 entrants each for pickleball and tennis, and they're expecting upwards of about 150 each this year. The first year they raised $25,000 in this event, and then this past January they raised $43,000, and their target is 60 this year. And so my employer is definitely looking at sponsoring one or more of the events. I have a few extra flyers if anybody would like to take one for tennis, golf, pickleball, or all of the above. But I'm really looking forward to it. I already got some people from my work and out in the community interested in forming a team for the tower climb next, I don't know if they have a date set, but next year. So with that, I will yield my time. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you for sharing that. Great job.
Very cool.
All right. Councilmember Graver.
Thank you, Mayor. I didn't have much tonight. I did get to attend Citizens Academy last week at the library, and my wife had to give up and speak, and I happened to be laughing with maybe somebody named Ann Nixon about something else, and then she severely kicked me out so she could speak to people without having to watch me laugh at her, so I got in trouble, but it was fun. I wasn't laughing about anything. I may have said to Ann that neither one of us, Kelly or I, like getting attention, which made Ann laugh, which made me laugh. You guys can get the joke on your own. Anyway, it was a good time. But good contingent of Gull Air residents, as always. But we did the quick tour all the way around, which we've been on before. I understand Vice Mayor Buckman is this Thursday, I understand. And I think that makes all of us from what
I'm on the 27th.
Oh, 27th. Oh, I gotcha. There's I know trunk or treats at Oldsmar Elementary. Trunk or treat's also going to be at Forest Lakes Elementary, same night, October 27th, just so the folks know about that as well. Second Friday was packed, just absolutely packed. It was really, really good to see, especially since we had to cancel the one in September. And so it was a really good turnout. I did judge the car show. There was a Griswold family truckster there. I mean, I just couldn't pass it up. So I've got a coffee mug of this truckster. So they ended up winning. The gentleman who owned it, his kids were there. They got to hold the trophy. They were in the picture with all of us. It was a really fun time. And then Oktoberfest is this weekend at Tampa Bay Downs. So hopefully I will see everybody there. With that, Mayor, that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Gannon.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes. Whew. I just wanted to, I mean, everybody was there at Gator Nationals, the BMX track in all of its glory. It was incredible. The number of people that were there from the number of countries that they were from. Seeing county commission members there, the USA BMX really cemented their commitment to the city and ours to them, and that was a big deal, in the decision that was made to rebuild the track, and seeing everybody out there again was just fantastic. Everybody in the stands and all the tents everywhere, the food vendors, the kids just riding those bikes so fast. You almost have to be aware, hyper aware while you're walking around at the track so you don't get run over by a bike. But they're just having so much fun, and I'm glad we decided to move forward with it, even though it was shortly after Hurricane Ian. I think it was a really great community success, BMX community. The city of Oldsmar, just fantastic job. Major kudos to all of the city staff that was out there working in the heat, because it was still pretty hot. We had, fire rescue out there in the center under their sunbrella hats, making sure everybody was safe. Also on the sidelines, Jason Conklin, I mean, Chip Potts, I mean, everybody in leisure services and the park staff. We had, even Nan Bennett and the work that she did to help, rebuild that track and keep everything on schedule. The last minute repairs that were necessary for the water, it was such a team effort, and it made it seem flawless, absolutely flawless. So thank you so much for, our city staff for really putting us back on the BMX map. I can't wait to see them all back in February. I wanted to thank Vice Mayor Buckman. That was a fantastic award that you gave out tonight. It is easy to forget that there's a whole group of first responders that work right here for the city of Oldsmar, and you were talking about the things that they did during, before, and after the storm and its immediacy, but even the things that our staff does on a daily basis in the years leading up to storms and with storms in recent memory. I was talking to our city manager, and it was a lot of hemming and hawing, and oh geez, these new building regulations for flood zones, and oh, it's so cumbersome to go the extra mile. Can't we just do the bare minimum? Why do we have to have these building requirements that are onerous and expensive? Well, that's planning for the future. That's planning for resiliency and sustainability, just like the Forward Pinellas presenters were talking about tonight, Advantage Pinellas. And that's because Tatiana stood up there and gave us her professional recommendation that this is what is necessary. So there's so much that city staff does, and that was really wonderful that you've highlighted them.
Thank you.
And especially their efforts, when we're all leaving town, they're staying here and helping protect us and our city. Lots of things coming up. A lot of events were highlighted. Tomorrow morning, Forward Pinellas School Transportation Safety Committee meeting in the morning, and I will be delighted to bring back news of that meeting at our next council. And tomorrow afternoon is the board meeting for Leadership Pinellas for the board of directors. I know Mayor Saraki is planning North Pinellas Day. Are you chair?
They're bugging me.
They're already starting to bug you because
My God,
it's coming up.
today they called, and I'm
You're a
just so,
victim of
I'm
your
just
own
so
success.
busy. I know. It was the best day.
It was the best
So
day.
I don't know.
Best day ever.
They called today.
But in any event, lots coming up, and do remember that upcoming in early November we have an election. So make sure you are registered to vote or have a plan to vote. Most people already got their mail ballots. So that's all I have.
Thank you. I just want to add one thing to Katie, what you
Yeah.
said. 43 states, 22 countries for BMX.
43 states.
43 states. And First Lady and I walked around, and we went to every booth on Friday to talk to everybody. They were from all over, Argentina, Colombia, Mexico, Brazil. I mean, we talked to so many people, and they all brought their kids. They all brought their kids, so, yeah, BMX was a success. Next is Vice Mayor Jared Buckman.
Thank you, Mayor. Alphabet soup. I remember eating it as a kid, and I recently had a reintroduction at IEMO. Had a chance to go to emo. And I have to tell you, it was an eye-waking experience.
Right?
It was amazing. The proctors, the people who put on that event, Lynn Tipton and her whole crew. I've stopped using Google to figure out things about local government. I'm contacting Lynn Tipton now because she seems like she knows everything about Florida. But it was an amazing event. I actually had an opportunity to speak to Commissioner Bonk from Fort Myers. She was there. And the challenges that she's currently going to be facing down in her city. We had some good conversations there. Met some great people from City of Eustis, West Melbourne. They're from all over. It was a really neat event, and I'm looking forward to EMO 2 in April. Had a great time at the National Walk today with Councilmember Gannon. I thought that was a great event. Oldsmar Elementary has done a great job in doing that annually, except during COVID. Moana was wonderful. I got to tell you, watching those kids up there, and even watching my own kids who used to participate in that in Opal, and watching them enjoy it, and then going up and meeting all the other cast members and congratulating them and everything, and just wonderful what my kids have done. Oktoberfest coming up this weekend. We also have, I'm doing my best at home to not be put in the doghouse because I'm judging Paul Palooza and I can't win first prize. So Paul Palooza is this Saturday from 10 to 2 at Ari Olds. That should be a great event with dog tricks, dog shows, and everything else, and I'm looking forward to it.
I think you were there last year.
Yeah, you and I judged.
It was great, yeah.
We judged it with some other individuals who were also judges, but it was really fun. The dogs are so cute.
Should be a great event. And the weather outside is getting cooler, so it should be really nice this weekend. So thank you, Mayor.
That's it? That's it. All right, I got a couple things. Saturday, I'm going to be at the All Buicks, Oldsmobile, Cadillac, and Pontiac show down in Armandale. Opens at 11 a.m., so I'm going to that. That's why I can't do the dog contest. And so I'll be at that, helping out the Oldsmobile Club. Paul and I will be selling 50/50 raffle tickets. So that's what I'm doing that day. So I won't be at the Tampa Bay Downs or the dog show. This Thursday is the Sunrunner ribbon cutting. They're opening up the Sunrunner. It's the inaugural ride Thursday, the 20th, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. So if you want to come down, ribbon cutting, it's at 1st Avenue North and 5th Street South in St. Petersburg.
On the route, yeah.
Yeah, and that's gonna be the first bus
First ride.
Sunrunner, and we're going for a ride down to the beach. So it should be interesting. I left these books on your desk. Hope you all got this. So I went to the Florida Redevelopment Agency Association conference last week. I was there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I got to tell you, with the redevelopment of our city and where we're headed in the future, this was a great learning experience for myself. I learned so much. The different seminars they had about redevelopment. They had one on low house income. They had all kinds of different seminars. But one thing I wanted to share this was at the awards dinner. This was given out at the awards dinner. So when you went into the meeting for the dinner, this was on your table. And so there was probably 250 people at this dinner. So as the people started leaving, I grabbed these, so I wanted to give these to you because I really feel that the city of Oldsmar does a lot of these projects already. What Andrew just mentioned, the Douglas Trail, that could be an award. The Harbor Palms Infrastructure Project, Phase 1, 2, and 3, that could be award in this book. Anything that has to do with the redevelopment of any type of project in our city could be an award. So Felicia and I talked about this, and we're going to strategize a plan to maybe next year apply for some awards for the city of Oldsmar, because I think we could qualify and win these. So enjoy that. And Felicia also even mentioned, what was it called? Orbit. Orbit could have even been an award for this redevelopment association. So that could even have been an award. So anyways, read that, take a look at it, and let's think about it over the next, we got a year to plan it out. The last thing I have, let me just double check everything. I want to make sure I got everything. Happy birthday, Katie!
Birthday, Katie.
Thursday, right?
Thursday, yes. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, I
appreciate
gotcha.
it.
All right.
Didn't see that.
I know, and I'm getting so old, I was startled. I was like, oh, and there's the stroke. No.
All right,
Thank
I
you.
gotcha. So I hope you have a wonderful day and I hope you get lots of cake.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
That's all I have. Item number 23 is approve the tentative agenda for November 1st, 2022 council meeting. Does anybody wish to add or take anything away? All right, I need to add 2 items. I need to add the, what is it, the Ford Pinellas Cliff Mertz from Safety Harbor. His 2-year rotating seat is up. So I need to add that to the agenda so that we can discuss someone taking Cliff Mertz's place from Safety Harbor. That will start January 2023. It's a 2-year term. The other item I need to add is I have to ask Tom, golf carts in city limits. I was at Eves on Saturday morning, and I had a family come up to me saying that the city of Oldsmar is the only municipality that doesn't allow 14-year-olds to drive golf carts without a driver's license. So Felicia and I looked it up with Ann today, and there are some cities that allow 14-year-olds to drive golf carts in city limits.
Interesting.
I'll look into that.
So I need, if you could, just report back to the city council so that agenda items were educated for that. And that's all I have to add. And with that,
Motion to approve the tentative agenda as amended.
thank you.
Seconded.
I have a second. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. That's it. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.